This is the real life experiences of immigrants in the diaspora. Welcome to the BO podcast. And I am your host, Becky Onyango. And today we have a very special guest who is going to share the experience living abroad. Stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of BO Podcast. And we have our first guest today, Daniel, and super excited as he's going to share his experience moving from Nigeria all the way to Germany, and just basically what the journey has been, and hopefully we can learn one or two things. So thank you so much for joining us, Daniel.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So maybe we'll just start off with your formative years. Tell us a little bit about your background, what you had always wished to do while you were a child and all that.
Okay, going back to when I was a child, I think in my senior secondary school days, I had interest in automobiles, so I started learning a lot about the internal combustion engines, and I fell in love with it. So that inclined me to study mechanical engineering, and I never had a regret one day for doing that. So
it was always a passion for me from
It was always a passion for me eventually. So I found it easy, even when people were complaining of how difficult it was. A lot of my colleagues dropped out.
Yeah, because it's a lot of numbers and physics.
Yes.
Yeah.
So especially the physics part of it, it's quite demanding, time demanding. But I didn't see any of that throughout my undergraduate days. But I was able to scale through with very good grades, and I graduated on time without any problem.
And how long typically is an engineering degree, mechanical engineering?
Yeah, if you just finish from your O-level to go straight into the university, is straight 5 years.
Oh wow,
yes,
5 years.
Yes, 5 years.
Almost like medicine.
It's a 5 years course, but if you have to do an A-level before going in, it's about 6 years.
Oh wow, okay. So at some point you have to specialize or not?
In your degree, basically, it's what it is. It's just mechanical. So they teach you basically everything. They teach you design, they teach you production, and they try, in my own school, then they teach us just design, production, and refrigerating. And so it's basically these three, but it's just a generic.
Oh, okay. So it's more general, then you get to decide.
Yes.
So later on, upon graduation, when you went into the job market in Nigeria then, were there skills that you had to teach yourself that you probably didn't learn when you were in school? Or did you get to apply everything that you had learned in school?
Basically when I was in degree, I had to start choosing which part of my mechanical engineering did I want to specialize in. Just like somebody in civil engineering would want to know whether he wants to go into the road construction or he wants to go into infrastructures, so building. So what I decided was I looked at the automobile market in Nigeria, and then there was basically nothing. There was basically just an assembling plants that were already dying. So I decided to switch into production, manufacturing industries, where I did my internship in one of the manufacturing companies in Nigeria. So I picked up a little interest in that. Did a little bit of internship in my 400 level before coming back to write my thesis and my final year.
Nice.
Yes, so that's what channeled me towards the manufacturing industries.
Okay. So when you came to now, breaking through and getting the opportunity to come to Germany, how was the transition, and how did you get that particular information for you to, make the move?
Okay, so how did I come into Germany? It went like this. After graduation, I found a job in a small company where I worked for a consulting firm, engineering consulting firm, basically where we study and make this bill of materials for government institutions, where we do some supervision for contractors to make sure they keep up to their designs. And
also, you're one of those big guys who used to get contracts from the government.
No. We were not the contractors. We were basically the consultants, making sure the contractors do their work.
Do their job. Okay.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, I think a year into the job, I really didn't like it. So I needed to make sure that I got a career, and that didn't look like a career to me.
Okay.
So I started searching for, when I go to work, when we don't have so much work, I started searching for schools on my own.
Okay, so you're proactively searching on the internet.
So I was proactively searching. And then I still went back to what I first fell in love with, and I went to manufacturing industries. I looked for production engineering courses. So what came up in my Google search were some few universities in the in Europe, and then Germany in particular, which I applied for, and then I got a good response from the TU Berlin, where I got this course, and I continued following it, and then I found myself here.
Oh, nice. Okay. So tell us a little bit about now the application process up until the time when you got the acceptance offer and the visa application process.
Okay, so I applied. I think it took me close to 7 months from my application.
Okay. Wow.
No, sorry. It took me about, I applied, I think 7 months is quite around the right time.
Yeah.
Because they opened February, I think they replied me close to October or so.
Oh, so by the time you applied, by the time they were getting back to you, it was after 7 months?
Something like that. So
did you only apply to one school, or you had?
I applied. I'm a kind of person that I put my eggs in one basket.
Wow.
So because I believe this is what I want, I try as much as possible to push my energy towards getting that thing exactly. So
true.
I applied. I think after 7 months, got a reply, and then when I got that reply, I responded with the documents they required me to send. They required some few extra documents after sending my application, so I sent some things like my transcript from my university, and I can't remember some of the particular things they asked me for, but I sent all of them immediately, and after a month they responded, and I think I had to write English exam, TOEFL, but all of those went.
So the purpose for the English test is just because the course
it was just document. It was not really documented, but just to make sure that they knew that you speak good English. So, but after that, that was it. I think they just sent me a provisional admission letter.
And for the visa application process, how was that? How long did it also take?
Well, for me, because every experience is quite different.
True.
And what I went through was, after receiving provisional admission, I had to ask some few friends. I had to look around for people that I knew that were already in Germany to know. But I think the process had changed a little. I had to go on their website to find out what they really required me to do to get an appointment. And then lo and behold, I think I did everything by myself. I studied what they required. I sent them an email with my passport number, with my provisional admission. And then after, I think, some few days, I got an appointment date.
And how long was the appointment date from the invitation?
I think it was like a month or two after my application, but it doesn't work that way now anymore.
Yeah, because I hear right now people have to wait like 7-8 months.
Yes, but that changed drastically after I had already got my visa.
Oh wow, thank God.
Yes, but what happened was, I applied. After some few weeks, I got a response with a date, and then I had to start preparing all my documents needed. I had to go to the website. They tell you all the documents required for a student visa. So I got all those documents prepared. I traveled to Lagos, because I don't stay in Lagos. I had to travel there.
So the embassy is only in one?
There are two embassies. There are two German consulates in Nigeria, but they only give student visas in the one in Lagos.
In Lagos, okay.
Yes. They used to give in Abuja, but I think they stopped.
Okay.
So now everybody requesting for student visas needs to go to Lagos to get it. So I did go there, and then you get the visa. They just ask you generic questions such as, they see your degree compared to the course of study to make sure it tallies.
Yeah.
Then the next thing they do is to ask you basic questions like geographic questions. What's the size, the population of Germany?
So you have to have some
background
information about
background
Germany.
information. They ask you if you know how to speak German, and obviously I didn't because my course was in English.
In English, yeah. So you didn't need that.
Yeah, I didn't need it at that time, but you would need it eventually.
Oh yeah, you definitely need to learn the language. Yeah.
So after doing all of that, they just ask you some very generic questions, and then it's not like a job interview.
Yeah. But I was really surprised because personally for me, the interview that I had in Nairobi back then was, it didn't have anything to do with the country per se. But anyway, I think also mine was just direct to the point because it was a fully sponsored scholarship. So I think they didn't want to.
Yeah, but they said the same thing to me. Like they said, if it were a full scholarship, if they knew you had a full scholarship, they wouldn't have asked a lot of questions.
As
yeah, because they believe
that's what they said.
Most of the background work would have been done
already.
Yes, so,
okay. Yes. Yeah, because it was so strange when I was talking to a lot of people who've applied to public universities to Germany. They asked them questions like, "Who's the current chancellor of Germany? How many states are there?" I found it quite strange, but it's a pretty normal process.
That's it.
Okay. And so now about coming now, finally everything has worked out successfully. You've gotten your visa. Did you have any sort of preparation, like in terms of, first of all, which month of the year did you arrive in Germany the first time?
I came in October when winter was just setting in.
And were you prepared? How prepared were you for that?
I wasn't really prepared, but I was open. I had an open mind, so I just came to see whatever I got. Yeah,
because normally I know a lot of people always have that weather shock, if you might call it.
I did.
Yeah, coming from a very hot area and then trying to.
But the thing is, one thing that helped me is my dad stayed in the UK for quite a while. My dad is a professor, so he stayed in the UK for quite a while. Yeah. So I knew most things. A lot of my siblings were born there, and so one of the things is. He gave me his winter jacket, because he knew that it was going to be cold. But coming here, I knew that his winter jacket was kind of outdated. Yeah. So I needed to quite update myself with things. I didn't even use the winter jacket. I thought I could withstand the cold for 2 days. Afterwards, I had to advise myself accordingly.
Oh, yes, you do. I remember also for me the first time when I came, we went and bought this jackets. So we thought, thinking that, I'm ready for the weather. Trust me, the jacket from Africa does not.
It doesn't work out. Those are just sweaters.
So at least you had someone who gave you the heads up. Someone who's actually had the experience of going through.
Yeah, I used it for quite a while before having to afford that, but
because the jackets also are expensive, like for the first time when you come.
Yeah, when you come, you're using the conversion rate in your head. So you need time to adapt.
Yes.
Because you don't see yourself buying jackets.
Oh, just one jacket for 70, 100 euro.
No, because you convert it automatically in your head.
Like, just that for jackets? No. But over time you definitely have to get one in the long run. Yes. Okay, so let's talk about the adapting to the school system here in Germany. How different was it for you from back at home?
Okay, when I got the admission, I was so happy coming to Germany because I felt I was going to get something more practical because mine was an industry-based master's where I thought I would get a more insight of how the industry works. Yeah. When I came in, part of the admission process, they keep telling you that this is more or less an independent thing where you would have to study at your own pace. Yeah. But when I came in, I was really thrilled to meet more open-minded professors. Yeah. They are more approachable. Okay. In most cases, you had labs where you had access to. You had the internet at your own, Yeah. So it was quite interesting then at the very beginning. Yeah. Where we had facilities at our disposal. When you need to do something in the lab, you can just walk into the lab and do it without restriction or without mostly time limits. Yeah. So I think that was what really triggered me at first.
So like the super positive aspects that brought about the big difference with the education system you're used to. Okay. And now in terms of, just the student experience in the learning process, because, back at home we are kind of used to sort of having our handhelds all through. And what was the difference with?
I think the system here is more or less a free fall. You're on your own.
Yeah.
You have to learn everything on your own. Your professor or whoever is there to help you is only there as a guide, not as a helper.
Literally, yes. That's what it means. Literally.
Yeah, he's just a guide.
He expects you to know.
Yeah, the expectation is that you already know it.
No, yeah.
Which is quite wrong, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, but what it does make you is it gives you the ability to have to research on your own.
Yeah.
But they just give you the basic principles, what they expect from you, no plagiarism.
Yeah.
You have to find your resources from valid or government institutions.
Yeah.
No blogs, no Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Some of those basic things are where you need to surface your research based on.
But in the long run, do you find yourself more capable in handling some tasks as compared to maybe when you're back at home because of that, system that you've been able to adapt to, like, everything's on yourself. So you have to be self-reliant and proficient. I mean, how would you?
Yeah, I think obviously that's something that happens when you are more exposed.
Yeah.
When you check people from other cultures, because learning on your own gives you the ability to become more resilient. Yes. And that's what happens. That's what happened to me in particular. And I think it helped me culture myself towards learning on my own. It might not be the best option, but it's okay to have a guide, a helper sometimes to tell you when you're wrong. But in most cases here, you just have to tell yourself when you're wrong, correct yourself, and move on. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Because I also find it like it's pretty much quite the same process when you are now switching from the school system to the job system here. In most of the case, like if you have a supervisor or a boss, maybe they expect you to do everything on your own. And there's that unlimited autonomy of, how you can handle your work. So how has your job experience or work experience generally been doing it in concurrent with school or after school?
Yeah, the most challenging part of it is, I think, working with school and work at the same time. You have to really find a balance between the two. Yeah. Because everybody is quite demanding. School is demanding, work is demanding. So you really have to find a balance between the two, and then know when to call it a quits, especially for work. Yeah. But they both have similar things in common, such as everybody expects you to know. So I think, especially when you come into the developed countries, you really have to know carefully what you put in your CV, because they work judiciously with what you put there.
Exactly. This is one thing I was just talking about with my friend the other day. Whatever you put on your CV, as long as you've written that you know this, you can do this and this, and you have experiences, this is exactly what they will use. Yes. And then I think in Africa we are used to, pumping up your CV, making it look very beautiful when in actual sense.
It's common for everybody to want to put a little extra of what they cannot do, but they claim they can do it because they believe they'll get the job. But you have to be very careful on what you put, because once you say you know how to do it, those responsibilities will be given to you accordingly. Yeah. And they expect you to perform very well. Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So I think those are just my experience between the work and life balance.
Yeah. And is there just a parting shot, is there any particular experience you've had maybe interacting with people here, maybe at work or at school, anything, any experience that...
Yeah, but most of my great experience are not particularly with Germans. They are particularly with foreigners.
Foreigners, yeah.
Yeah, because I've had great experience when I came here. I met different people. Even though it changed with time, it became less and less and less with time because your priority changes with time. And then you notice that most of these people you come in contact with are just people that are for the moment.
Yeah, true.
When they go, they are not like
true.
Back in Africa where
you maintain a friendship for a long time.
Yeah, once everybody goes, everybody forgets about each other.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, it's like it's the yardstick they use as a hindrance to further systemic racism.
Yeah. So they use the language aspect of it.
If you scale through the language, then I think there would be the next
There's
barrier.
another thing. That's exactly what I always tell everybody. Even if you learn the language fluently, there'll still be another reason to hinder you from. So it's more of a systemic racism, which I believe that should be addressed, because at the end of the day, as a country, if you're trying to open it up to foreigners, and these foreigners who come from those countries, they've not been chased away. They're coming here on their own will. The same way, there are a lot of German natives who also are in this particular country. So, for example, in our country, in Kenya, we do have a lot of Germans who've been able to establish like hotels. They are living very luxurious lives. And so they get really good treatment back at home, you know, and people actually try to accommodate them despite the fact that they may not be fluent in Swahili or English, right? But it's the reverse when we come to their country, which is, you know, something that I still believe there's room for improvement in that. Right?
Yeah.
Young, aspiring students who are still back at home in Africa, what kind of career opportunities can they start considering, and what can they do as a person while they're still back at home in terms of building their profile in order to get opportunities?
Okay, so this part of Europe that we're in, Germany, it's like an advanced Africa. Like they've gone far ahead of us. So you have to look at career-wise, basically two things. You have to look at the future to be able to. When I'm talking about the future, not the future in relative to Africa, but in relative to the world in general.
Yeah.
So to bring in people, especially in the IT sector.
Yeah.
And then I know I was told of somebody that came in through as an accountant from Nigeria for a company here. So it's possible. There's nothing impossible, but and then it's the far easiest way to come, because once you're brought in as a skilled worker, you've passed a lot of hurdles to come in.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't have to come and meet the student life, the work, hustle.
Because the student life is a hassle.
It's a hustle. You don't want to go through that.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yeah, but I don't even advise my enemy to come through that.
No, absolutely not. But once you manage the student life, graduate and secure a job, then you're good. Yeah,
you have a thick skin for survival.
You have definitely. Even when you're at the workplace, you know, there are those small things you'll be like, man, I've been through us, so you can definitely get through this. Okay, nice. So, parting shot for our viewers, what would you like to, leave us with?
Okay, so at the end of the day, I really wish everybody an individual experience, and I want to say that this is just particularly my experience.
Yes.
Everybody has his own individual experience. I've had people that came into Germany and settled within the first 3 years of their coming.
Yeah.
Others take a lifetime to try and settle.
Oh, yeah.
They do very, very hideous things to try and settle, but just know that life is an individual race. The fact that it happened to A doesn't mean it will happen to B, and the fact that it happened to B doesn't mean it happened to A. So just be focused, know what you want, and go for it. Have an open mind.
Yeah.
The fact that you come into Germany doesn't mean you might end up in Germany.
Yeah.
I've had people that came, had a bad experience, and left Germany to other countries.
Yeah.
And then I've had people that came, went back home, and did well.
Yes.
So I think coming with an open mind is the best skills of survival.
Yeah.
So you just know that you come with and get what you need, and then you live with an open mind or stay with an open mind.
Yeah.
Because whatever you intend to achieve in life, you can only achieve it with an open mind. If you are restricted based on you must stay back, either Nigeria or Kenya or anywhere in Africa is the worst, then it will always remain the worst for you.
Yes, it's all about the mind, by the way.
Yes.
If you say, I can make it here, you can make it anywhere.